any other
The
movement?
Zeitgeist movement knows nothing.
I'm saying, how would it be any effective than any other movement?
The Zeitgeist movement has no blueprint, no plan.
I'll just add one more thing, and that's, someone brought this up last night, and it's completely in line with what you're describing, but it's another variation, is that Earth ships, transition towns, these community things, these are might be needed in a very short-term sense as things start to continue to break down.
Transition towns. Yeah.
Exactly, which is, I have no disrespect for, but obviously they're not a solution. They probably recognize that.
Short-term solution.
Short-term solution, but what's going to happen is, say we all got together and we started a nice community somewhere. Say, I don't know, the number doesn't even matter, and it's outside the city of New York. Say, sure. And things start to break down, and we're doing great. We got our food grown. We're living decent.
Set up some chickens.
You know what's going to happen? Those people that are starving and displaced will come straight for whatever's working. That's just a natural tendency of any organism that's starving, and they'll do whatever they can. So unless you want to have men with automatic weapons at your gates, so it's important that people not try to find intermediate patchwork solutions. We don't have time for that. I have friends that are doing right now. They're going to places and they're growing their own food because they're so tired of being poisoned by industry, and they understand what's happening. But I try to explain to them that that's not a solution. We have to work together. There's nowhere to hide, in other words.
Okay, we got another email from Enrique Gutierrez. Yo, Mike, what up? Hey, man. This is Enrique from Culver City. Okay, he's doing the personal thing. Where's the question? I'm torn on whether or not I should stay here and become the goat shepherd or go back and share what knowledge I'm learning about permaculture. That brings up a whole host of issues that you might take some time to talk about, Peter. What is Zeitgeist? Is there any activity inside Zeitgeist that's making active preparation for events now?
Well, no, that's kind of the world you're in. We're trying our best with the assumption that we can take a hold of this system before it gets to a point where everyone needs to flee. I think in the back of everyone's mind, though, that is involved in the movement and understands it, they realize the difficulty of this approach. They realize that they have to have fail-safes. They realize, like, for example, I'm working on dual citizenship in another place. I have another location that I consider a possibility of getting out and starting a sustainable small area for myself. In the event I feel the need to do so, I'm not making plans, but it's in the back of my mind. I'm thinking just like your lifeboat notion and your organization talks about as well. So it's there.
As a catharsis in 2007, I decided to make literally a thrown-together art piece that was shown in Lower Manhattan called Zeitgeist. It was thrown up on the Internet after it was over with no interest for any progress of it. I was simply resorting back to my normal life, and it became very popular. And it sort of took a life of its own. And suddenly the question became, what do we do about many of these social issues that were brought up in Zeitgeist? What do we do about a world that is very unstable, about a lot of things that I won't go into if you're familiar with that work? And I started to look around with this newfound sort of pressure because of this new audience that, to my sort of discomfort, was paying attention to me, which is why originally I was Peter J. and then suddenly became Peter Joseph, and now I've stuck with that because that's what I became known as, even though that isn't my last name.